Yeah, so to write Lambda functions, there is a document called Boto3. So this is a place which actually this is a Python API because, as you know, right, all the services in AWS is an API basically. All it's the resource API. So these are the different resources. So here is a list of resources like your Athena, Cloud9, code commit, code build, DAX. So we are looking for EC2. We'll write a Lambda function today which can start and stop EC2 based on some schedules. So as you know, like we had discussed in the Lambda sessions, so there needs to be a trigger, right? After that, only Lambda works. So trigger need to be there. After that, only Lambda will be working in production, because every time you will not be able, uh, you will not be clicking the environments, right? So there are lots of triggers. So if you will come here, so coming to AWS, we are dealing with AWS, and we have lots of event for trigger, right? So if you will go here in Lambda Console, so which one we had made as of now? This one. There are lots of triggers, right? If you will see here, so there are n number of triggers are there. So here also lots of events. It's API gateway, HTTP API, WebSocket, Kinesis, S3, schedule. So basically today we will be using this schedule event. Schedule is nothing but your cron job events. So we will be using this schedule event, and we will be writing Lambda code. So coming to this Lambda console, we will import Poto3 here, and so this is the basic format you need to follow to write Lambda code. So we had import Boto3, and we now we are creating a client object. So under that we will be storing all the Boto3, all the EC2 events, right? So here we had stored inside the client, and what is the use case? So our use case is like to schedule an event, uh, restart and start and stop, right? On like suppose suppose in your organization, so you have a dev environment where where you don't need your instance up and running 24/7. Only you need that instance to be running at the working hour, basically working hour when developer will be developing their code, right? So basically we are going to write a Lambda functions which will be starting your instance at 9 a.m. and it will be stopping your instance at 5 p.m. So to do that, so first uh, how we will do that, like what will be our how we will apply these all things. So first what we will do, first we will grab all the instances, right? So we will grab all the instances, and after that we will perform any operations on that instances. So to grab that instances, we have a API call that is called describe.
This internal API is written in the Python only. All
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
API.
Python. Yeah. All it's written in Python, and it's written in Node also. Like so, but
Yes.
Python is more preferred. So we are going with Python.
Okay.
So this is the response object we need to create. So see, and it's all self-explanatory when you will study it. So basically, our agenda is to grab all the instances. So describe the specified instances of all instances, right? If you specify instance IDs, so basically, and here it will show you like what are the required parameters, what are the optional parameters. So here all are optional. So just we will grab it. And we will apply a loop for I in response. And one more thing. So if you will call this API, so the output will be like this. Output format also will be given here. You will come down for this. You will see the output format also. So this is the response, right? This is the response. When you will be calling that API, you will be getting response in this format. So this is the complete format. If you can see here, so it will give you image ID, it will give you instance ID, instance type, all thing it will give. So we'll try to see how it works actually, right? So and this is called scripting. Right. So we'll save it and we'll try to test it. Okay, so it failed actually. So what is the error? An error occurred while calling describe instance. You are not authorized to perform. Okay, yeah. So basically you need to give permissions also, right? This lambda doesn't have any permission. So if you will go here, so if you will see like what all the permissions this lambda has, so you will be seeing like it has, yeah, it only has a permission called yeah, one more thing. Whenever you used to create your lambda, CloudWatch used to be created automatically in background. So because all the logging and all logging activities of the Lambda will be done on the CloudWatch. So CloudWatch, so that's what, like, this is the policy for CloudWatch for logging purpose. If you will see here, so this is the CloudWatch role policy has been assigned to that Lambda function, but our use cases like that, we have to assign all the ec2 permissions also, right? Because we are performing operations on the ec2 instance. But for a sake, like, I will attach complete access, so administrator access I will be attaching with my lambda functions. Now we'll try to execute. Again it failed. Now what is error? Response generations. Yeah, it's succeeded. If you able to see here, so status is succeeded. Now we'll go to check the complete logs, what the logs we got, right? So click on logs, and it will direct you to CloudWatch. as I told you, like all the logging activities will be there in the CloudWatch, right? So this is the CloudWatch log. And yeah, so if you will see here, so we got a complete information of the instances, right? So if I will compare with this, so basically this is a response syntax, right? First you will get reservations, under reservations you will be getting group, and you after that you will be getting instances. So like what is our use case now? Now we got the complete output here. If you will see here, now we need to focus more on our use case. So if I will come here, so if you will see here what instance ID we got here. So this, where is the instance ID? Image, yeah, instance ID is this one, right? I05 B6 B6 CE, like that. So just remember this 29D. So just remember this last statement 29D, and we'll go here and try to look EC2. Right? So basically we got the instance complete instance information of this running instance, right? We got the complete information of that, and now our use case is like to start and stop. We'll show you that. So for that, like basic Python codes we need to write, and we will write that. So what I am doing, I will be so basically
Here we are fetching all the running instances or all whole, because we have only one, right?
complete instances. So it will give you the complete instances. And if you want to
Then
fetch if you want to fetch running instances, then you need to specify here. So under the status you need to specify. So for that, like there is a separate API call. There is a separate
not
API call for that. Yeah, so not this one. There is a separate API call. I
okay,
think
means
list
get the
instance.
list of the instance by a status, something like that.
Yeah, like that exactly. So under the parameter you need to pass like status
Pass.
equal to like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So describe instance will give you the complete instances, list of complete instances, and now now if we will go here, so basically this is the object, right? This is the collection of basically this is complete object. Why object? Because it's a collection of more than one data types. So so you can see, right, we have a list here. So this is a list, this is a dictionary. So in Python we have a object, there is a dictionary, there is a list. So there are many things. Now we need to, so now we need to look like what is our requirement. So basically we need to grab this instance ID, right? This instance ID we need to grab. So how to do that? So for that we will be writing a small code. So if you will look here, this is the dictionary, right? This is the dictionary, and under that dictionary we will be under that dictionary we will be applying loop on the instances. So if I can write like this, so under the reservations we have instances. See, under the reservations we have instances. So now we'll apply loop on instances for j in instances and shape. I'll try to run. Okay, so what we got again, we'll go to the logs. So basically, as I told you, this is a test environment of Lambda, and as you had done these activities, as your code is perfect and fine, after that you will go for the deployment of this Lambda function. So what is the output? Again we got a dictionary, right? So this is a dictionary starting with this. So what we need to grab it now? We need to grab this instance ID. So we'll just take this instance ID. This is the dictionary, and like this we can do that easily. Now again, if we will go to the logs, we got it, right? Now we got a separate instance. Now what we will do, we will just store it into a list. And suppose if you will run one more instance, if you will run one more instance, so you will, okay, we'll run one more instance. So basically we have a two instance now, right? We have a two instance. And if I will run this Lambda function now, so you will be getting a detail of the two instances. We got two instances, right? Now what we will do, we will just store it in a list. So for that, we need to write a small code. We will create an empty list, and let's try. Yeah, it got appended, I guess. And the status, basically you need to look either you are doing perfect, fine or not. So now we'll print this instances. Yeah, it got stored into a list, right? So this got stored in a list. Now we'll perform some operations in that. Suppose you need to start, right? So as of now it is in running state. And this, So it's a use code is there. Start instances, right? You need to start it. So if you will look into the parameters of this, so basically in this API call, you need to, so this instance ID is required, and you need to provide this instance IDs. So what we did, we had stored all the instance ID in a list. Now we will pass that list to this call. Client dot start instance, and we will pass this instances. Okay, we'll stop it because it is in running state, right? We'll stop. Is it correct? So 2 instance is in running state now, and instance IDs. Let's see. Yeah, it worked. So if I will refresh now, see, it is going to stop, right? So with the Python Boto 3, we had written a script which is stopping our instance, and suppose again we need to start it. So we can do that. So it's now stopped. Both instances are stopped now. Now if we want to start it, we'll just change the call. Yeah, now it is starting, right? This is the power of the Lambda functions. And this is very basic, I can say. So based on your use case, suppose you people use these Lambda functions and all for the costing, for the costing purpose. So suppose you need to differentiate between the instances, you need to schedule any kind of jobs. So for that, people basically used to use the Lambda functions. And again, what is the limitation of Lambda functions? So Lambda functions can't be used in web applications, right? Because as you know, for uh, to run Lambda functions, you need some kind of triggers. And what is the trigger we are doing? So we are triggering it manually. So basically we are manually triggering it, right? So for a SOA applications, I can say service oriented architectures. So that can't be built on the Lambda because that and all applications need to be up and running 24/7, right? So for that you can't use Lambda, and Lambda is more useful into the uh, people using it in a data science because they are deploying their models. Basically, they are preparing models and they are deploying. And again, so Python is very user friendly for the data scientists also, right? And this is the script here, so that they are integrating that and all code here into the Lambda, and they are deploying it to the production. So on the based of events, so there are lots of ways. So based on the different events they use to trigger it, and again, so basically this is a basic of the Lambda functions what we had seen as of today. And now, so as I told you, this we will be doing it um, mm, for the development purpose. So as of now, we are just changing our code. We are looking into the output. These all things we are doing. And suppose this is a finalized code. So this code is now finalized. Now this code we need to deploy it, right? We need to deploy this code, and for that we will be using the concepts of serverless. So if you will come here, as I told you, there are two ways: SAM CLI and serverless. SAM CLI is specific to AWS, and that is not that much great, I can say, because in industry it's not like that. Means your all the applications will be on AWS, right? Some of your applications will be your on premise. Some of your applications will be on Azure, like that. So that's why this is a very serverless is very popular. So if you will see for so basically this is nothing but this is the deployment. So basically this is used for serverless deployments, right? This is used for serverless deployment, and we need to configure it actually. And if you can see, like lots of people are using serverless, and this is not I can say, like as I had mentioned in my previous classes. So the Lambda functions and all, and serverless deployments and all is the next generation, I can say. It's like it's kind of next generation, and it's still in India, like not lots of people are using it because their architecture is like server oriented architecture, right? So like that. And how to configure this serverless? So you need to remember there is a, like, to install serverless on your server, you need to have Node.js. Node.js is the prerequisite of the serverless. So to install it, we need to first install Node.js on our server, right? So up to here, any doubt like what we did? So basically, what we did, what is the permissions, these all things. Any doubt up to here? If not, then we'll move into the deployment of this Lambda functions. Anyone? Okay. Okay. So we'll now we'll go for the deployment of the Lambda functions. And again, so in the deployment package, so I will show you that. First, I will grab an instance. We'll stop it. I don't remember, like, on which we had given uh, complete access for the security groups. So we'll install it from the root. And both documentation is very user friendly. This one also, and this one also. This is for deployment. This is for development. So we'll try to install Node.js. So this is the 3 to 4 steps we need to perform to install Node.js on EC2 instance, and there is a documentation for that. We'll execute it. Basically, we are installing Node.js as of now. Why we are doing? Because this is the prerequisite for serverless to work. Yeah, Node is running now. So now we'll install serverless. So just we need to run a single command and npm install server. Let's check how to install. Install serverless. Yeah, this is installing the serverless onto the system. Before that, we need to create one more thing. So we need to basically, because these all things we are doing using programmatic access, right? So we need to create a IAM rule, IAM user basically, which has a programmatic access to log in into the server. So we will do that. We'll create a user, add user, Steve serverless admin, programmatic access, right? Add policies. So for the demo purpose, we are attaching this administrator access policy, but you will not be doing these all things for the security purpose, right? And we'll download this CSV. So basically in this Excel, as you know, like this will be given once, right? So this you need to, we will do login into our AWS console. Okay, it's got installed now. Now we'll try to log in first. So this is the serverless config credentials. Provider, under provider, you need to give AWS. If you are working with Azure, you need to give Azure. If you are working with GCP, you need to give GCP. So, and key you need to give. So key is nothing but your this access key. And the secret you need to give access secret, right? And profile, basically you need to give this profile also, like the name basically, with which name you are going to log in. So we'll click enter. What happened?